Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a truly spectacular political meltdown. It's a wild story about a passionate, desperate plea for unity that somehow spiraled into accusations of treachery, a whole lot of insults, and one of the quickest U-turns you will ever see.
So let's start at the beginning. We've got this crystal clear mission statement from online commentator Paul Thorpe. Unity, that's the goal. In his own words, it was his only ambition. This was supposed to be the one thing that mattered most. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, hang on.
Okay, so before all the drama kicked off, before the name-calling, there was this public appeal, an almost desperate video message that really set the stage for the absolute chaos that was about to unfold. So Thorpe gets on camera and makes this direct appeal to politician Rupert Lowe. And I mean, he lays it all on the line. He's not just asking, he is begging. You can see it right here. He's framing this as this huge historic moment for their movement, literally imploring Lowe to come and join them. So the takeaway here was supposed to be super clear, right? Egos out the door, everybody pulled together for the greater good. Unity wasn't just a suggestion, it was presented as the only way they could possibly win. It was the mission, period. So, did this grand plea for unity work? Well, Rupert Lowe did make a move. Just, not the one Paul Thorpe was hoping for. And the reaction? Yikes. It was immediate, and it was explosive.
See, Lowe goes and announces he's starting his own party instead of joining up with the existing one. And just like that, Thorpe and his co-host, Richard Inman, go live, and that whole unity thing, poof, gone, replaced by pure rage. And boom, the gloves are off. Thorpe's co-host, Richard Inman, just comes right out with it. This isn't a simple disagreement. No, he calls Lowe's move absolutely unforgivable. I mean, the shift from begging to betrayal is just whiplash. And you think maybe Thorpe, the unity guy, would calm things down? Nope. He jumps right in. The same guy he was just begging to be a national hero, he's now accusing him of treachery. The turn is incredibly fast. And this is where you can really see just how fast this whole thing went off the rails. The conversation just nosedives from political talk to these raw personal insults. Not just at Lowe, but at anyone who supports him. They're now rats and snakes. So much for that drop your ego speech, huh?
Okay, but just when you think you've got this story figured out, it takes a really weird turn. Because almost as quickly as the firestorm started, they tried to put it out. And it looks like the motivation might have been a drop in subscribers?
I mean, check this out. The contradiction here is just wow. 1 minute, Thorpe is on a live stream calling Lowe's actions treachery. Then, a little while later in a YouTube post, he's saying he agrees with 99.9% of his views and would love for him to be prime minister. So that unforgivable act? Yeah, apparently it's totally forgivable now. And in that same post, we get a little clue as to why he might have had this sudden change of heart. Thorpe mentions he'd lost nearly 600 subscribers in just the 10 days after that meltdown. So you might be asking, who's to blame for all this confusion? Was it the completely contradictory statements? Of course not. According to Thorpe, the problem was his own audience. They just didn't get it. It wasn't him, it was you. So now they're facing backlash. They're losing subscribers. Do they take a step back and reflect? Not quite. Instead, they pivot to a new role, the victims. In their next stream, they literally read out a whole list of insults they'd gotten online. Everything from turncoat and traitor, all the way to Mossad agent. The message was clear. Look at us. We're being attacked. We're the ones being persecuted here. And Richard Inman jumps in too, saying he's lost 1,500 subscribers. But don't worry, he says, sarcastically of course, that he was getting a bit overawed by having so many anyway. You can tell the losses were definitely getting to them.
But, not everyone was buying the victim narrative. Other people in that same online community had a very different take. They looked at this and saw a pattern, arguing that Thorpe and Inman weren't the targets of all this division, they were the ones creating it.
And that brings us to the bigger picture here. Because as wild as this one episode was, it doesn't seem to be a one-off thing. When you zoom out and look at the history, a pattern starts to become pretty clear. Just look at the track record. Thorpe joins Reform UK, promotes it, then dramatically quits. He joins Advance UK, promotes it, then quits that too, saying he wants unity. And with Restore Britain, he goes from begging Lowe to join him to calling him a traitor to basically endorsing him for PM, all in the span of a few weeks. And what does all this do? It creates this constant state of chaos, right? The focus is always on the personalities. Who's friends, who's enemies, who's a traitor this week? It completely overshadows any real discussion about the policies they claim to care about.
Which leads us to the big, final question. In this whole world of online movements, is all this constant infighting just a mistake? Is it a bug in the system? Or is it actually a feature? Is the goal to actually win? Or is the goal just to keep the drama and the show going?
And what does all this do? It creates this constant state of chaos, right? The focus is always on the personalities. Who's friends, who's enemies, who's a traitor this week. It completely overshadows any real discussion about the policies they claim to care about. Which leads us to the big final question. In this old world of online movements, is all this constant infighting just a mistake? Is it a bug in the system, or is it actually a feature? Is the goal to actually win, or is the goal just to keep the drama and the show going? Don't forget, like and subscribe for more Bollocks.